one of the most underrated yet important relationships in Grand Theft Auto. Vice City. Definitive Edition is between Tommy Vercetti and Avery Carrington because it represents the moment where Vice City stops being just a criminal playground and starts becoming a business empire. Avery isn't a traditional gangster or rival. He's a capitalist opportunist, a property tycoon who understands that control of land, infrastructure, and development is just as powerful as guns and drugs. When Tommy meets Avery, it marks a turning point in how Tommy operates. Up until this point, Tommy is reacting to chaos, cleaning up messes, and trying to survive the fallout of the botched drug deal. Avery introduces him to a different mindset: long-term control through ownership and manipulation of the city itself. Avery Carrington is portrayed as loud, arrogant, and absurdly confident, but beneath the caricature is a razor-sharp understanding of Vice City's future. He sees the city as a resource to be carved up, reshaped, and sold for profit, and he immediately recognizes Tommy as someone useful, muscle with ambition. Missions like 4 Iron, Demolition Man, and 2-Bit Hit aren't just random contracts, they're lessons. Avery teaches Tommy how violence can be used strategically to clear obstacles for economic gain. Killing a rival golfer isn't about revenge, it's about securing land. Blowing up a construction site isn't chaos, it's market manipulation. Assassinating a political candidate isn't personal, it's about zoning laws and investment returns. This relationship subtly reshapes Tommy's identity. Around Avery, Tommy isn't just a hitman or enforcer, he becomes a facilitator of power. Avery doesn't bark orders the way Sonny Forelli does, and he doesn't intimidate like Ricardo Diaz. Instead, he talks deals, future plans, and profits, treating Tommy like a business partner rather than a subordinate. This changes how Tommy sees himself. You can hear it in the dialogue. Tommy becomes more assertive, more confident in negotiations, and more comfortable making decisions that affect the entire city. The Definitive Edition enhances this dynamic by making Avery's exaggerated mannerisms and smug confidence more readable, while Tommy's increasingly composed reactions show how much he's learning from these interactions. Avery Carrington also represents Vice City's satire at its sharpest. He's a parody of 1980s real estate moguls, exploiting political instability, foreign interests, and urban chaos for personal gain. Through Avery, the game critiques how cities can be shaped by greed just as much as crime. Tommy's involvement in Avery's schemes shows how organized crime and corporate corruption overlap. By helping Avery, Tommy isn't just building his criminal reputation, he's embedding himself into the economic backbone of Vice City. This is crucial because later in the game, when Tommy begins purchasing properties and running legitimate businesses alongside illegal operations, that mindset has already been established. The missions themselves reinforce this theme through gameplay. Demolition Man, for example, isn't just about flying an RC helicopter. It's about removing physical barriers to development. It's frustrating, technical, and deliberate, mirroring the idea that building power through business is harder and more complex than simple violence. 2-Bit Hit forces the player to think about timing, disguise, and spectacle, reflecting how public perception and political theater matter just as much as brute force. These missions push the player into thinking beyond shootouts and chases, aligning gameplay with Avery's philosophy of controlled, profitable chaos. What makes Avery especially important is that he disappears from the story without fanfare, which is intentional. Unlike Sonny or Diaz, Avery doesn't need a dramatic downfall. He comes, exploits Vice City, sets events in motion, and leaves richer than before. This reinforces the idea that people like Avery don't lose. They move on. Tommy, however, stays. By the time Avery exits the picture, Tommy has absorbed the lesson. True power isn't just surviving the streets, it's owning them. That knowledge directly feeds into Tommy's eventual transformation into Vice City's dominant crime lord, running fronts, controlling assets, and shaping the city's future. In the context of the Definitive Edition, Avery's role feels clearer and more deliberate. Improved visuals and character animations make his smug detachment and opportunism stand out, while Tommy's evolution feels more cohesive. Their relationship is never emotional, never personal, and that's exactly the point. Avery Carrington isn't there to challenge Tommy morally or physically. He challenges him intellectually. He shows Tommy that Vice City is a system to be exploited, not just a battleground to survive. Ultimately, Avery Carrington represents the bridge between street-level crime and empire building. Through him, Tommy learns that influence comes from control, foresight, and ownership, not just intimidation. Their partnership marks the moment when Tommy stops being shaped by Vice City and starts shaping it himself. That's what makes Avery such a crucial yet often overlooked figure in Grand Theft Auto. Vice City, Definitive Edition. He doesn't just give Tommy missions, he gives him a blueprint for power. What really seals Avery's impact is that he's the first character to treat Tommy like a future equal instead of a disposable tool. That validation matters. By trusting Tommy with city-altering decisions, Avery accelerates Tommy's confidence and ambition. Even after Avery is gone, his influence lingers in every property Tommy buys and every business he controls.